Today, the direction is northwards. We are at one of my favorite rest stops here in Dare Village, and today we're just pausing here to rest. We're not even halfway to our goal or a quarter way through our ride, so this is just a brief stop. It's a very clear sky today. Not a cloud in the sky. Usually a clear day is nice while riding, but also a little bit of cloud cover can be nice because it provides some shade. Today might get hot. If anyone is curious, we're in Polk County now. This is Sarah Helmick State Park. I'm stopping here for some rest, some shade. It's different from state to state, but at least in Oregon, state park isn't necessarily large or spectacular. This park is smaller than some county or city parks. It's a matter of funding and regulations and maintenance. This looks like a small but pleasant park, so I'm going to go check it out. This is the Lucky Mute River, or at least I suppose it is. The course and pronunciation of this name has presented me problems in the past. It's still pretty high, but it's gone down from the highest point of the winter, but this tree, for example, on the banks is still underwater, and there was a lot of mud deposited here during the flooding. As you can see, this state park, there's really no facilities, there's no fancy river walk, it's just a muddy bank down to the river. That's why state parks come in all assortments. Some of them are very fancy. This one is just a nice, unimproved spot next to the river, more or less. One thing about the Willamette Valley is that it's a valley. That's why it's called the Willamette Valley. And most of it is pretty flat, but it's broken up by gently rolling hills. The thing about gently rolling hills is they're gently rolling when you look at them. When you're traveling them on a bicycle, it's a little bit less than gentle sometimes. This is Monmouth, part of the Twin Cities, Twin Towns, Monmouth and Independence. It's about 20 miles north of Corvallis, so I've gotten about 20 miles to get here. The home of Western Oregon University, which we'll see in a minute. These two towns together are a little bit smaller than Corvallis. Western Oregon University, till a few years ago, was Western Oregon State College, one of 7 universities now in Oregon, public universities, only 25 miles away from Oregon State University. Oregon State University is a research university, does a lot of work in the life sciences, biology, has an international student body. Western Oregon University is more of a teaching college, originally with the normal college, the college for teaching teachers. And this is apparently Oasis Cannabis. This is a smaller town. Some people might call it more conservative, and it probably is compared to Corvallis. One thing about cannabis in Oregon is it's not really a political issue. So you can go to a small, rural town, conservative political leaning, they'll still have cannabis stores. This is a bus shelter. This is a local bus, more or less. It's a regional bus. It goes from Salem to Dallas. So actually where I am right now, I am within the network of local transportation that could take me with some effort to Portland. And in Corvallis, I'm not. But here, we are within that network. This is Independence, the other half of the Monmouth Independence Twin Cities. We have an old downtown dating really back to the 1800s. And then outside of this, it's mostly soft residential. Here, just a couple hundred feet from the last video, the center of Independence, we have condominiums or townhouses going up. This is an older town, kind of a sleepy town on the surface, but I think what's going on here is this is 12 miles outside of Salem. So the trend of urbanization, quote unquote, is moving into smaller towns where people want to live in smaller houses like this, be in a place where they can walk to downtown. It's a good trend. I mean, there's a lot behind that. Right now, I'm mostly observing it, not commenting on it with full sociological and economic impact, etc. But interesting to see it going on. This is the Willamette River. I'm crossing it as a detour. This separates Polk from Marion counties. And so I'm walking across this bridge, which is kind of a scary bridge to be honest, just to say that I visited Marion County on my trip. And then I'm going to turn around and go home. This is Marion County. Okay, very nice, but time to turn around. On my way back, this hill, which would look like nothing when I was fresh, seems pretty daunting now. This is the road to Buena Vista. We've been here before. Right now I have about 90 minutes or so before sunset, so I have to kind of hurry to get home. Ahora no tengo miedo. I'm back in Adair Village, and the day has changed. Earlier I said it was too bright and too clear. We have some shade in the sky, so my problem's kind of changed. Now it's kind of, nighttime is creeping up on me. Luckily I'm only 8 miles from home with 45 minutes of daylight. So feeling pretty safe. Like so much in life, like I said with the Albany trip, the problem was the uncertainty, not the actual activity. Well, I guess from here, straight shot home. Now I'm back in Corvallis, a block from my home. It's a nice peaceful night. Last mile home, I walked my bicycle to walk off some of my muscle stiffness. Now, beautiful evening.